Hi, this is Gary Goodwin, founder of the Armchair Dreamer, and welcome. This is a place to come for tips, tools, techniques for visualizing, for imagining, and for dream work. There's only a couple skills that you need to learn to do powerful and effective visualizing and powerful and effective and deep imagining, and one of those is relaxation. Relaxation is at the top of the list. It is essential. It is what opens the door for the rest. Opens the door to effective and powerful visualizing and imagining. Now the exciting part is, and which makes it easy for us to learn, is I'll declare it here, right now, that any form of relaxation opens the door. So that means we're free. We're not restricted to one or two types of relaxation technique, but we're free to learn when we can, from where we want to learn, finding those techniques that are the most appealing to us. So obviously the question is, why is relaxation so essential, such a central part of doing this sort of work? The common effect of relaxation, whatever form is used, is that it lowers our alertness level. It lowers concentration. It lowers readiness, what I call vigilance, that ready to respond, ready to anticipate what's coming up in our environment or coming up next in our lives, and that we keep ourselves ready to go to respond in some way. It also lowers analysis or analyzing. It lowers planning. What am I going to do next? What do I have to have ready to go for the next thing? And it also lowers our boundary keeping. That is, what are my standards? Who am I? Where am I? How am I different? How am I different from the dog that walked in the room? How am I different from my neighbor? How am I different from this or that? And how do I protect those boundaries? I think it's safe to say that all those things are lowered. They're not shut off, but they're lowered, and something happens when we lower those. The various techniques vary on what they're trying to change, but I'm going to break it into two different levels, two different general levels. There are relaxation practices that want to change the level of the things I just mentioned, lower those in the body. So it will concentrate on the body, about loosening muscles, changing breathing rate of the body, of making awareness within the body in a different manner than what we're used to. And in doing that, that will change the mind. The other main approach is to use the mind to change the body. And the most common approaches of working with the mind is to give the mind something to concentrate on, something simple to concentrate on, and to hold that concentration, hold that target in mind. And in doing so, the mind slows down. The amount of content flowing through the mind is greatly reduced. And if we stay on target, we can detach from thinking, we can detach from feeling, we can detach from sensory input or distractions, and all that will bring relaxation to the mind, and in bringing relaxation to the mind, it will bring it to the body. Relaxation opens the doorway, but the doorway to what? Not that long ago it was discovered that our capabilities, our brain, our neurology capabilities are distributed across the brain, but they tend to work together in groupings. For instance, there's the feeling grouping that involves certain portions of the brain and now is being really looked at carefully when it comes to trauma and it comes to anxiety and depression. Further distributions were found for what we could call the executive functions, that is, of analysis, of planning, of making standards, thinking in a linear sort of way, making very detailed comparison between this and that, and holding all that in mind. That was found to be generally distributed, and it's been revised a bit. It's more broadly distributed than they thought originally, but more on the left side of our brains. On the right side were the dreamy, poetic, visual, imaginative, the ability to not be focused on standards, but allow things to flow together, meaning objects and experiences that seem to be highly different could actually flow together and be blended in new ways. This is where creativity seemed to come from. This is where the unconscious seems to reside. That was the thinking, and I think it makes a pretty good sense. Some of it still holds together, but obviously we're looking to tap into the right brain activities. And where does the doorway lead to that gets opened through relaxation? Well, it leads into the capabilities and capacities of our right brain. We learn and practice relaxation methods to calm and tune down and tune away from our very active and very well used left brain, our executive functions that we use day in and day out. We tune them down, we calm them down so that we can see almost like the stars coming out at night, at dusk, as it gets darker and darker. As we tune those things down, then the right brain can be seen with its imagery, and its poetry can be felt, and its ability to make associations and be creative, to see that brighter and brighter and clearer, inviting that more into our mind and into our life. That's what we do with relaxation. I think I got my point across, and I think it's a good time to stop for today at this point. I do offer some techniques of relaxation at armchairdreamer.com. You're not limited to those, as I mentioned before. These are the ones I use. I find them effective for others, and they've been picked in that some of them are getting the body to relax so it can relax the mind, and some of them are picked to relax the mind so it can relax the body. So there is some intention behind it, but you're not limited to those. Again, let's stop here. Remember, relaxation is so important. Start today if you don't have some relaxation techniques that you already know. And if you already know some, start today to really master those so that when we discuss the other skills that are necessary for good visualizing and imagining, you'll be all ready to go. I do want to make sure that I thank you for being here, for sticking it out and going through this. There's certainly more over at armchairdreamer.com. All sorts of tips, tools, techniques, articles, some downloads, a collection of all the recordings. So thank you again for being here. This is Gary Goodwin, founder of the Armchair Dreamer, and I will see you next time.